As young children, we learn to be afraid of things. Fear of the lights being off, fear of the boogeyman, or in the case of my grandson, fear of the Grinch. But as adults, we also wrestle with many different types of fears: the fear of failing, the fear of making bad choices, the fear of being alone, and the fear of dying. Fear can be a crippling agent that the enemy throws in your life to keep you down and defeated. But what is fear? Fear is defined as being apprehensive with anxiety or alarm. In today's reflection, found in chapter 1 of Joshua and in many other parts of this book, God commands Joshua, a military sergeant, to be of good courage and not to fear what lays ahead for him. God bless you. This is your sister Margarita Figueroa with a reflection title, Didn't I Tell You Not to Be Afraid, but of Strong Courage? But who was Joshua? And why did God have to repeat this inspiring verse to him 7 times in this short book called none other than Joshua?
The Holy Bible, the King James Version. Read by Alexander Scorby. The Book of Joshua, Chapter 1. Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee.
To understand this historical event, we need to read the book before the book of Joshua. And in the last chapters, we see a shift beginning.
The book of Joshua. Let's back up and remember the story so far. So God chose Abraham, and then his family became the people of Israel, who are then enslaved down in Egypt. And so through Moses, God rescued Israel out of Egypt. He made a covenant with them at Mount Sinai, and he brought them through the wilderness. So Israel then camped outside the promised land, and Moses called them to obey God's commands so that they could show all the other nations what God is like. The book of Joshua picks up right after Moses has died and Israel's ready to enter the land.
In the last chapters, we see a shift beginning, a closing of one door and the opening of a new one, the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. God closes doors to open new ones, sometimes because what was in your life before is not intended or meant to be in what comes next. Moses, a great leader, who through the power of God and the guidance of God brought the people out of Egypt, out of slavery. They were enslaved for over 400 years, and he helped them cross the Red Sea safely. And because of an impulsive act, he could not take the people of Israel to their next level, which was to live in a land that had abundant food and provision. So God had to provide a new leader. Joshua, son of Nun, was this chosen person. Joshua was an amazing general, a skilled soldier, and he was faithful to both God and Moses. And we can see this when he obeys Moses and goes along with 11 other men to spy or see this land God had promised them. They found that the land was inhabited by giants, and 10 of these men ran back in fear, saying, "Let's go, we can't take them on." Yet Joshua and Caleb urged the leader and others to take the land. There will always be people around you who will try to discourage you and fill you with fear. But God tells you, as he told Joshua, to get up, rise up, and go. To Joshua, it was to get up and conquer the land. To you, it might be, get up from your depression. Get up from your desire to give up and give in. When we are discouraged, all we want to do is crawl up in a ball and cry. Cry and use excuses of why we cannot or should not keep trying. But God says, be of courage. Courage is defined as the ability to do something that frightens you. If Joshua was such a great military general, why did God have to repeat to him to have courage and not to be afraid? Joshua was going to face new challenges, and the unknown can be frightening. Maybe you have a new challenge that brings on worries or fear or anxiety. Joshua now had the responsibility of leading an entire nation into a new land. You might be a mother with the responsibility to lead your children on the right path. You might be a leader or a pastor with the responsibility to lead your members to green pastures. You might be a husband or a young father with the responsibility to lead your family. He had to follow the shoes of a great leader. There is always someone comparing. Someone comparing children. Why can't you be like your brother? Children who compare their parents. I love mom or I love dad more because. Bosses who compare employees. Relationships that compare the past from the present. And there is the tendency to be afraid of not measuring up. Joshua had to face strong enemies. The land had people already living in it, and they were not going to give up easily. We prepare for spiritual battles by spiritual means, in prayer, fasting, and asking God. God tells Joshua to remain focused on his word, to not look to the left or to the right, meaning focus on God and his ability to help you and not what you're seeing that is temporary. Joshua and the Israelites would have to face even natural obstacles, such as the Jordan River, that when it was flooded or flood season, it would be impossible to cross without drowning. And a man-built wall or fortress that was considered impenetrable. Joshua was over his head. He had to take several million difficult people, yes, I did say difficult people, into the midst of trouble and possible death. He definitely had reasons to be afraid and worried, as you might have, but fear and faith cannot coexist together. Joshua was to step up and take charge and be the leader God saw in him. God challenges you today to step up and defy the enemy. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your choices and trust God to guide you. How can I trust God can help me when my life is falling apart, when everything seems hopeless? Well, get into action. Keep God's promises close to your heart. Trust him. In the book of Joshua, we see how this leader overcomes obstacles and crosses the Jordan River, brings down an impenetrable wall by solely shouting and praising God. He had the courage to trust God. There will be many times in your life that you will be filled with fear, anxiety, or apprehension. But God challenges you in this day to not remain in that state, but to rise up, take courage, and move forward, trusting that he can help you and that he is willing to help you. If you don't know God but would like to know him or get into action, be of strong courage and find a church near you that can help you by showing you the word. This is your sister, Margarita Figueroa. God bless you.